They do have good drinks, I got to say.
Oh, yeah? I'll tell you what.
Come here, brother. Come here. Come right over here.
Happy fish fry.
Come right over here.
It's so hot, Stephen.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes, Stephen.
I promised him a year ago I would not forget his 60th birthday.
Yes.
It's okay to cry. Yeah.
I remember that.
Listen. And this has been about 5 months in the planning. I called Mate and Holt and Tiff and I said, I need you to tell your dad you're coming down on this weekend. I need you to take off church, spend the whole weekend. Brett? Oh, Brett, wait, that's Carol. What? There's people here. Wait a second. I see the mother of your children back there in the corner. I tried to get some people here from a long way away, but you know it's difficult. So I promised Kevin that we would FaceTime him because he wanted to be here. So y'all don't know Kevin, but this will be awesome. This is coming. Kevin, can you answer? Oh, wait a second. Who's that right there? It's okay, take a deep breath. Because I got a friend with a plane, I sent him down to Charleston to bring your brother out. Come on out, Dave! Rick, you got the walker? You got the walker ready? Rick's got a walker. Oh man, that's fun. That's fun. Listen, man, all these people love you. So many people. I called Bob, I called Mitch, I called everybody I could to get here. And I got everybody I could. I know you're all about family. I know you haven't seen your sister and Sheila in 2 years until tonight. Sheila, will you come out and see me tonight?
Are you not going to come over here?
You're not going to come hug him, Sheila? Come on.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
She's here all weekend. You can talk to her. Come here. You know I love you. 32 years we've been doing this. 32 years we've been doing this. You give to everybody in this room over and over. Phone calls, conversations, counseling, advice, whatever. You're all about helping people. And in the last 6 weeks, you haven't helped anybody more than you've helped your sister Sandy, who flew here today from Texas. Sandy, come out here and give me a round of help.
This is too much.
It's like a dream or something. Now, I'm going to tell you that's the last surprise I have to come out the door. But what I want to tell you is everybody in this room loves you. Everybody in this room could have been somewhere else tonight. Everybody took time to come and celebrate their friend and their brother, Steve. And so we're going to celebrate. We're going to party. We've got barbecue chicken and barbecue and mac and cheese and all kinds of stuff back there. We got a cake. We'll get to that in a little bit. And
Even your favorite person.
even your favorite on the golf course is here. 5 weeks in the making. 5 weeks in the making. Or 5 months in the making to get to this moment. 60 years in this moment. That's right. Hey, before we get started, I'm going to ask Mate to bless the food. And we're going to let Steve kind of catch his composure. We'll have him back up tonight to talk. One thing you need to know is the front of this microphone says Stevens Mic. So if at any time tonight you want to come up and sing with the band, this is your mic.
I hope that sometime in your life you get to feel what I'm feeling right now.
Dear Steve, happy birthday to you.
I can't say any more than what I said a while ago. I've always described Heath Nestor as somebody that would swim across the ocean to mow your grass. And I want to start with him, and I'm going to stop there because I love every one of you. I do. And this is a fantastic, or am I interrupting your meal, Kevin? Listen, I've had some great nights in my life, and this is the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm keeping great, or else I'll be right up here. I can't even begin to describe how lucky I've been. I've noticed a lot. I've had some friends start having kids lately, and I noticed how much family members having kids. I noticed how much young kids pick up on what their parents do, whether the young kids realize it or not, whether the parents realize it or not. They pick up on a lot of mannerisms, values, whatever it may be, and there's not a better man in the world to pick up on those from than you. The education that I've received from him, whether he knows it or not, is just money. You can't put a dollar amount on everything that I've learned from you. And I can't. One day I can't wait to pass that on to my kids. I know it's hard. I'm not the best person at communicating my emotions, so I know we don't have the deepest talks all the time. But I know you know this, but I want you to know that I think about you all the time. Everything that I do. Everything that I do, whether it's, like when I turn the AC off before I leave my apartment. Or like when I go like check the pressure on my air tires when I feel a little, I can at this point I can feel when there's something going on in my car. I don't need any lights or anything like that anymore. It's just, and another thing is, I've been allowed to take risks in my life because I know that if I fail, I'm gonna land on my feet because of you and because of Mom. I know that there's no situation that I'll ever be in where I can't get out of it, and that's because of you and you. And that's, I'll never be able to thank you enough for that. And I hope you do know how much that you mean to me. Like I said, I know I'm not the best at articulating it, but everything I do in life, I do with you, not mimicking you, but you're the reason that I do everything that I do. I hope that one day I can have a room full of people like this that have things that they have to say about you. It's just, I'll never be able to thank you enough, and I love you so much. I want to add to Heath, this is just, not only is this not possible tonight, but without you, he's not the man that he is without you. I mean, I know that you guys talk more than any person. You probably talk to him more than you talk to Sonya, I'm guessing. That's not a shot at Sonya, that's just how much they talk. They talk all day, every day. They talk. He'll hang up the phone, and 30 minutes later, it's another phone call from Heath or another phone call from him. You guys are brothers, and this would not be possible without you. The unsung hero of the night is Mike. We would not have been able to get him here without Mike's help and Tanya. We would never have been able to get him here without you, and without you, Mike, and obviously Heath. This is just, like I told you earlier, you saw the reaction from him. You know how much this means to him. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
And I just wanted to say what a blessing it is to have been not born, I'm sorry, to have inherited this beautiful family. The way that you and Lori have raised these boys is just like a testimony of who you guys are as parents, and I feel very loved and accepted, and I realize what a privilege that is. I have a screenshotted text on my phone from Steve that just said, "I'm praying for you today. I look at you as a daughter," and it just means the world. And so I just need you to know how much I appreciate and love you, and I'm very, very thankful to have you as a father-in-law.
Have to be close with somebody. That means you have to call them, you have to text them, you have to hang out with them. And I think it's just a testimony of your life, but it's also an encouragement to me and to us all of those people who we have in our lives who maybe feel distant, or maybe stuff has gotten in the way of this means the world to you, because this is a lot of what life is about, the people you do it with, not necessarily about the accolades that you might have. So it's just been so cool to just talk to all these people and just know that you've been there for them, and you have a room full of people who love you. And it's just an encouragement to me to just remember how am I building friendship, how am I building relationship, and how am I just doing that on a day-to-day basis. It's such a role model, and that's who you are, that's who you've been my whole life. And like Holt was saying, the way that you have raised me and the way that you have taught me is so crazy to see now, being married and doing similar things, that I'm oh my gosh, that was my dad. And I'm you would always say, the same thing about your dad, about granddad. You would always be like, oh, I sound like granddad. And I'd be like, that's weird. I don't know why you're doing that. I will never do that, because some of the things that you come up with, I swear you just make up. But now when me and Tip are walking, I'm like, hey, walk slow. Let's take our time. Let's enjoy. Let's see. And I'm like, that was exactly what my dad would say. So those are the funny parts, but it's also the parts of when I'm struggling, when I'm facing battles, when I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to get through to this. And you've just been such an example of what it means to be a Christ-like follower, and what it means to love Jesus, and what it means to find that in the in-betweens. And I think the biggest testimony in my life is how graceful you were with that, how you didn't force me or force us to do anything. You led by example. We just could sit there and see you and realize, oh, that's what it's like to be a Christ follower. That's what it's like to love Jesus. And now I'm sitting here at 25, and I can confidently say that I'm walking out that life because I saw and was led by somebody who did it so well. And that's eternal. That's life-changing. So I'm grateful for that, and I love you.
So 32 years ago, for those of you who don't know, I was a worship pastor for Fort Caswell, right down here at Fort Caswell. And the speaker was Steve Hudson. And that's where we met, was at Fort Caswell 32 years ago. There was another guy in this room at that camp, and Steve had him speak that night, and this is how Steve introduced him. He said, I want to introduce y'all to someone who is the definition of white street trash. Mr. Brett Tillman. Would you come on up here, Brett?
Come on, man! Did he say that? I was like, my knees were shaking and all that. Okay, don't step back. I'm not used to this kind of stuff, but I started thinking, it's like everybody comes up and they're like, oh, I just love Steve. I'm just like, I love him. But I'm probably the only one in here that hated him. Hated him. I mean, the word Steve Hudson and his red sob that he used to have. And it's like, dang, he's got a freaking sob, man. It was, I'm telling you.
I was making payment.
He was, I swear. And so, other than the sisters and the brother here, I know more about him. But with all that said, I guess what I'm saying is, can I give you a little story of how I met Steve? Okay. And tell me if I'm not loud, too loud, or not loud enough, because, well, I love my wife. Can I just, let me get that out right now. I love my wife. But at the time, I was 20 years old. And Tammy McAllister. Okay, anyway, I know we love Tammy McAllister. But, yeah, this is how I'm trying to bring in all this stuff, man. I was like, Tammy McAllister. Tammy McAllister was dating Steve Hudson.
What?
Yes. Dating Steve Hudson. You know that. Anyway, long story short, they break up. I get a phone. Ring. You know, back then it wasn't the cell phone. It was a phone call home. And like, hey, you want to come to church? I said, yeah. Come to church? Sure I will. And I knew Steve Hudson, and I went to church, and I had this Miami Vice tank top, and Lordy, if you knew only then. But I'm going to tell you what he had on that day, because I remember it like it was yesterday. After the service and all that stuff, and we walk outside and here he comes in his sob. I'm telling you, I remember. A freak. It was kind of a orange, it was burnt red. Okay, anyway. He comes up and he has a hound's tooth, black and white. And back then they had the big puffy, you know what I mean? The big puffy sort of pads in it. He come, and I'm walking out the church with Tammy, and her mom says, I can't, we're like debating what to do after church. And then Steve comes up, and I didn't know, I knew. Now, hold on, what can I say one thing, because my ADHD is kicking in. If I'm talking too long, you just tell me. Anyway, please don't. Wait until we finish the whole story here. Anyway, so some guy comes up to, he comes out of his, I don't know if he was just kind of making a statement, but he gets out of his freaking sob. He walks up the cement and his church steps. He says, can I do it right here? Hey, Steve Hudson. Steve Hudson. I can't, first off, I'm thinking I don't like Steve. I already told you, I did not like the name Steve Hudson, but then I met him, I was like, man, I'm in trouble. Because, he's got this hound's tooth. Okay. And anyway, he says, hey, would you like to come to the basketball after church luncheon? I was like, wowee, I was like, what? I can't believe he knows who I am, right? Because they broke up last week, and then all of a sudden Tillman shows up at church with Tammy, and I'm gonna start throwing up a tear. Anyway, seriously. I'm telling you, man, let me give you a little background where I came from, okay? I grew up, I know, is it too much? Okay, I grew up, my father owned the Topless clubs in Charlotte, North Carolina. Look at this, people! Yeah, Angel, here she comes. Yeah. Everybody. Look, I'm just trying to tell you. I've got some freaking Rod Stewart hair going on at the time too. I got earring and all this stuff, and here comes this guy. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna cut it shorter. But all I gotta tell you is this. When he walked up to me, and trust me, we've had conversations about this. He did not want to do it. But, he says, you know what? Love your enemy. And he came up to me and he introduced himself, and the rest is history. Okay? I got saved in the back of the Nissan, no, was it Toyota? Yeah. Sentra. No, Nissan Sentra. Yeah. Yes. With Jeff McFalls. Steve, listen, I'm trying to tell you, it's like Tammy McAllister was out of the picture. Tammy ends up marrying Mark, whatever. Oh yeah, I've got that back though in Dilworth. But it's all good. It's all good. What I'm trying to tell you is this, and there's many, many, many more stories. But oh yeah, I could go down to Orlando. I could go, but I'm not going. I'm not doing it. Won't do it. But I can tell you this. Okay, McFalls he passed away. He was a good friend of me and Steve, and I remember he would be like, I don't know anything. I'm just trying to tell you, I'm like the guy that, like, go down to the last, well, maybe so. Well, not the last guy, but, you know, well, second to last guy. But I'm just saying, I didn't know. I mean, but he invited me, like, and we become, I mean, obviously we're best friends, we're super tight, but, sorry, I'm gonna start crying, but with that said, we go to basketball, we play that, and da-da-da-da, and then he's like, him and McFall's like, pray. It's like, what the, pray? I don't know what to do, and I just start praying in the back of the back seat, and we go around and blah blah blah. Get saved in the Nissan Sentra, and I love you, man. And there's many more, but I'm just going to tell you, this man is the man in the creepy crawly cracks, Charlotte, North Carolina. I love you. And that's so. Look, this we go back a long ways. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know. Anyway, but I want to let you know how far back it was. It was. Love you, man.
All right, we're going to wrap up pretty quick and then let everybody talk, but I just want to, there's nothing about me you don't know. I have no secrets from you. I've never had a secret from you. We talk about everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And you've been like a father to my girls. You've been like an absentee husband to my wife. In a whole different way. Tonight wouldn't be possible, you know, I organized this, but there were so many people helping. I sent out a bunch of text messages, and Rick sent some text messages from that text message, and Mike and Tanya and Cherie and everybody. I mean, I can't tell you how many people are involved. Mike helped us get the place through his cousin. He helped me book a house for the band to stay in. There's hotels. Cherie went to Wilmington and picked up your sister and helped her get here. I can't tell you how many text messages and phone calls we made to make this happen. And what I'm telling you is this. It's all about your character. It's all about your character. These people are here because you have character and you care about people. And and apparently you're hot for 60. Hot for 60. I'm hot for 60. Oh my goodness. I want you to know that I love you. You're my brother. I can't say enough. We'll talk. I'll be back next week to hang out with Steve. So we'll talk next week. And why don't you do this before we start playing music and everybody mingles? Why don't you just come up and tell everybody that you love them?
Listen, if you're like choking with all this garbage, I'm sorry, but this is a one-time in a lifetime deal. And I've been to a lot of people's weddings and I've done a lot of stuff. I've been all over the world. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I asked two people to talk and they said no, but now they want to talk. Is that okay before you finish? One of them's your brother David. David said, when I said, David, would you say something? He said, you know, I'm a little drunk. Yeah, I need to calm down a little bit, and then I can say something.
Bro, we go back a long way. A long way. You know, I just, from day one, I was just looking up. we'd run around the baseball field, and the coach was like, Dave, catch up. Steve's up there in the front. Like, how does he do it? He's always out front. I always looked up to him. He's been there for me. I've had a Christmas with no money, and he's come through. Been tough. He's the man, and I appreciate all y'all showing up for it. I really do, and I love you, brother.
And here's what's crazy. I started talking to people, you know, miles and miles away. I called Bob and talked to Bob in Phoenix. Tried to get him here. I talked to Mitch, and neither one of them could come, but I talked to Kevin and said, Kevin, is there any way you and Dottie could come? He's like, dude, it's like 14 or 15 hours up there. But they drove all night because they said they weren't going to miss it. They were not going to miss it. And here's the great part. Steve and Kevin and I were on a three-way call the other day, and Kevin said, oh yeah, I'm on my way to wherever it was. He's like, oh yeah, well tell so-and-so and tell so-and-so. And I'm just going, you are such a sucker. Kevin, come up here and say something, man.
Thank you. I'll make it quick. Man, I don't make it quick. I want to hear some good music, and I want you to sing. So anyway, when I came across the bridge, my wife and I and family, kids, after a 13-hour drive, I had a lot of anxiety coming across the bridge because I know there's an ocean on one side and some kind of bay or something on the other side, but intercoastal over on the other side. And I talked to this man 180 days a year, and every damn time I call him, he's lost and made a wrong turn on this island. And I'm like, how is it possible? I'm not sure there's 180 roads on the island, and Steve gets lost every time. Well, it is easy for this man to get lost. I've been with him across the country, across the world, and it's been great. And look, May 25, right here, outstanding young man. Holt, 26, right? 27, outstanding young man. I've known Steve for 27 years, and you're 2 for 3. That's all I can say. Good job, Steve. You're doing good. Nah, for real. Highs, lows, ups, and downs. I appreciate him. I know all of you do. My wife appreciates him, and cornerstone of my faith. And he's been spreading that message to all us motorcycle guys who get lost from time to time. But Steve keeps us on track. So we love you, Steve. Not only me, all of us. We need you, and we love you. Glad to be here for your 60th.
All right, so I would talk about every one of you. I would. He was 16, she was 16 when I met them, and they didn't have kids. Me and Lori didn't have kids, and now we have kids, and they're growing up, and we've got great kids, and it's because of great parents. That's where great kids come from, and you just love them, and that's what I've tried to do with a lot of people in my life. And I will always remember this, always, and I'll never be able to tell each and every one of you, I mean it, thank you for your time and coming here and staying and listening and being part of this. You've really made me feel full inside, and sometimes I'm not all full, but I keep going, you know, and my fun meter's high, okay? Thank you.
Let's have a little party.
Reaching reaching out, touching me, touching you, sweet Caroline. Had a friend who was a big baseball player back in high school. He could throw that speedball by you, make you look like a fool. Saw him another night, I was roadside bar, I was walking in, he was walking out. We went back inside, sat down, had a few drinks, but all they kept talking about glory days. They'll pass you by, glory days. When I wink for young girls' eye, glory days, glory days. On those days that I know, playing the star again, and I know, big fun.
You didn't know until you walked in.
I had no clue. That was the best.
Your face was shocked.
Joe said it best. He said, I've known your dad for 35 years or whatever. He's like, I've never, ever seen him not be able to come up with words.
I know.
That's true.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna tell you.
And you did. You were speechless.
I'll be reliving that for